Hi.
I'm loving the background. I
Thanks.
want it all. Give me everything. It looks so
You want to
gorgeous.
see?
How are you?
I love, oh my God, your makeup.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
Every
especially for you. I
time.
thought, oh, I haven't done a red lip this series. I thought, let me do a red lip for Trish.
Oh, it's amazing. I love it. Literally every time I'm like, it's so good.
You're too nice to me. Let's see. I don't know what I always find, because when the second person joins, you have to adjust your camera again. How you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Is the light okay? Can you see me or it's all okay?
Everything looks fine to me. You look fabulous. How have you
Fine.
been?
Good. Yeah, I've been good. Just had a consultation on the video call, so that was good. Yeah.
Exciting. Okay, guys. So let's just crack on. Trish is here from Sheerney, London. Trish, can you just give us a little bit of background about yourself, how you began, why you got into this? Because it's always nice to know the person behind the brand.
Yeah.
So I adore you. Even though let everyone else have a chance to get to
Sure.
know why.
So I run Shirley London, which is an Asian wedding and occasion wear brand. So it's a boutique for women of all shapes and sizes, somewhere that you can come to feel comfortable. You're not judged for your size or anything like that. I've been doing this for just under 4 years, and I provide bespoke, semi-stitched and unstitched options. So currently I work online with online appointments and stuff, but very soon I'll be doing face-to-face appointments from either. So yeah, I've always loved this. Always wanted to get into like designing Asian wear because it just looks so special. Like when you see how people look.
Absolutely, nothing
wearing it.
compares to a
Yeah,
bride. The way a bride looks.
so regal, so amazing. I love it. So
So
yeah,
special. It's like magical almost. You know, when she's all done and she's
yeah.
walking around, it's just an air of magic, isn't it?
Exactly. And then you get comments and stuff as well, like people are like, oh my God, it's so out of the ordinary, and there's so many different options you can do as well to look different. It's
Absolutely.
not just the same thing for
That's
everyone.
what I
So
like as
yeah.
well, even with the hair and makeup, to give like a totally different look each time. It's so easy to try and stay safe with the safe colours and safe, etc. But we're going to come on to all that kind of thing. But it's nice when people, to give somebody a totally different look, like for the
Hmm.
Mehendi, Roka, wedding day, registry. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's so many different things you can do. Okay, so you're going to give us your top tips, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. So the top
All your
tip
tricks and secrets.
brides.
Go for it. Just
Okay.
tell me to shut up, Trish. You know me. I just can't stop
No.
talking.
No, just okay. So like, if you would just jump in whenever.
I will. Because I know you've got so much to share.
There's loads. So these are, I guess, like top tips for brides, and also even just anyone that's going to a big event that is, gonna have a fantastic outfit to look the part. So these are just like things that you can do to make it easier, little tips and tricks that you might or might not know. So my first one would be, when you're thinking of an outfit or getting ideas together, mood boards are super important. So I would say, so Pinterest would be the main thing. Everyone uses Pinterest, I'm sure. You can have a board there with all of your pictures in it, but then you can also use apps like PixArt and InShot, I think, is another good one.
Yeah.
These are apps where you can have a grid, so you can put all the images together into one, and you can see whether things fit
Photo Grid is
together.
another one which you can use.
Yeah, Photo Grid is really good. Yeah, so it's good to see, like, if you want to see, does my outfit color go with the groom's color or the
Absolutely,
decor,
yeah.
or you can put it all together. So
Or even
mood
just
boards
the
are
whole
really
color scheme. How's it going to look? How are you going to look against your bridesmaids? Because people sometimes they don't think, or sometimes they go for similar colors and then it's all a bit too same. Like everything is just like a sea of dusty pink. Do you know what I mean? And everything's kind of merging within each other. So there needs to be standing out factors. That's a really good idea, actually, about the mood board.
Exactly. You just need, like, I mean, you can have complementary colors. It doesn't have to be the same, and Pinterest is really good for color palettes as well. So if you put in one color that you really like, so if you just type, say, dusty pink color palette, it will come up with maybe 5 or 6 options, like strips, and then you can go through that color palette and use that to style anything. You know, you can, your shoes, your flowers, your table settings, like whatever you use, just you can do palettes like that. So it's quite good. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good starting point. I agree as well. Even for my brides, you know, I say start looking at photos, start looking at things you like, don't like. You know, if you look at something and you think, God, I really, really hate that. That's great. You know, some brides say, you know, I don't like a lot of makeup looks, and I'm like, that's really good, because if we can eliminate all the things you don't like, then all of a sudden we, you know, it niches down the direction you want to go in. So yeah, mood boards are fantastic for both hair and makeup, including
it's almost it's almost as much about elimination as it is about choosing things, because when you eliminate things and you know what to go for, you're going down the right route.
Yeah, definitely.
So so the next one was working with your body shape. So I did this, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure a lot of brides do this, is you think, okay, I'm going to get married, or I've got a big event, I'm going to go on a crash diet, and I'm going to look good, I'm going to get thin. Yeah, exactly. That's really, I mean, if you want to eat healthy and, you know, just generally get healthy, exercise, that's fine. But if you've got a goal in your mind of, I want to get to a size 8 by this time next year, it's not going to happen. You're going to be miserable. Even if it does happen, you're going to be so sad because you're missing out on like all these things you could be doing. And just be happy in yourself. Like, do what's right for you. If that's right for you, then it's right for you. But the thing is, when you do that, it also makes your fittings really difficult as well. So when you order something, typically for bridal, you order it a few months in advance. Now, if you're crash dieting, or, you know, doing something that's quite drastic, that fitting is not going to be all off closer to the wedding. And
when is the closest, when is the last sort of fitting date people can have or should have?
It totally depends on your designer, how close they're willing to go, because I know, you know, you can get it within like a week, 2 weeks, within a few days even. It completely depends, because I know some brides have lost a lot of weight through no fault of their own, just wedding stress, just lost loads of weight and had to just have things pinned last minute or had something fitted again. So yeah, I mean, you can have the fitting anytime, but it depends on the designer. But I would say there are loads of things you can do that, if you've got something that you're not confident about your body, for example, like maybe, you know, you're not too keen about your stomach or your arms or your back or something, there are tricks that you can use to hide it, or not hide it, but I guess like enhance
cleverly, isn't it?
Yeah. So like, I think, you know, there are things you can do, like you can use 2 dupattas. So I've seen that a lot, where one will be draped across you and one will be on your head. So that hides the front area, and also it helps to like streamline your look. There's another really good tip.
That's nothing to for the brides to investigate as well. There's so many different dupatta settings, and it's worth it, because often on the trial we want to go through it with me, for example. But sometimes, had they have done it in the store when they were choosing an outfit, they could have gone for maybe an extra dupatta, like you said, or maybe they'll realize, actually, this one, the length isn't quite long enough for the look I want to pull off. So by the time you get to me, it's a little bit too late sometimes, because I generally advise to have your trial once you've got the outfits. Because too much can change. You know, you might think you want to go for red, and then on the day you might go for blue. Do you know what I mean? And then your whole colour palette changes.
Exactly.
So,
so I think that's one of the things to think about right at the beginning, is your setting, like, and how your outfit's going to work with your body, because you don't do things that go against you just because it's something that's in fashion, because it's not going to look good later on. You need something that's classic, something that will look good all the time, because it looks good on you. You're the person that's going to be wearing it. you know, there's that saying like, don't let the outfit wear you. You need to wear the outfit. Like, you have to feel comfortable in it. So I mean, there's
Yeah,
things,
absolutely.
yeah, there's loads of things you can do. Like, for example, if you have a lehenga that has embroidery on it, like patterns, sometimes people will get them where they'll have big patterns all the way up.
Mm.
Trick to make your waist look smaller in these is to have big patterns at the bottom, and as it goes up they get smaller and smaller and smaller, so
Yeah,
towards the waist it gives that illusion of smallness and
yeah.
length as well. So
I
yeah,
need that illusion in my life
this
for everything.
me too. I wish all my clothes are like that. Hi
That's great.
Sonia.
Hey guys, how you doing? Hey Sonia, how are you? Lots of people have joined us today. Hi guys.
Yeah, so yeah, that was the working with your body shape. I would say the next thing would be a really key thing to think about is budget.
Yeah.
So when you look for an outfit, sometimes you can get really carried away with the things that are available in the shops, and you think, okay, my budget's going to be 1,500 or 1,750 or something, and you see something that's like 2,500, and you're like, oh, it's really nice, I can stretch it, but it's like the more you do that, the more you're stretching everything else in your budget and
Yeah,
everything spirals. So stick
definitely.
to your budget. That's so, so key because I,
How do you go about setting? What advice do you have to go about setting your budget though? Because for most brides, if it's the first time as well that they're doing, you know, arranging anything like this, they might not have any idea of how
yeah.
much it costs or how much things can cost, or if 1,500 is a good budget. So
Hmm.
the only way to know is, I guess, shopping around.
Yeah, I would say talk to designers, go into shops. With shops, it's a bit difficult because they can mark up the price more than what it's worth, and then you can haggle them down. So I'd say take that with a pinch of salt. But if you talk to an actual designer, and if they are, I mean, if they're good with their customer service, they're not going to be upset that you're just asking for a price
Yeah,
because you're a potential customer, right? So
yeah,
just ask them and see what they can do in your budget, and that's also a really good thing because you can find out how heavy you can go, or how personal, you know, how much of a personalization you can do, you know, how many different items you can add to it, you know,
mm,
outfit changes and stuff like that. So definitely call around, ask around, anyone that you see online on Instagram or something that's inspirational to you, just ask them. And if they're a good designer, if they're helpful, if they are happy, you know, serving customers, they're not going to be sad about or angry about giving you information.
exactly. That's so
Yeah.
true. They're going to want to, yeah, definitely. If you speak to somebody and they seem short with you and they make you feel like an inconvenience, I would say that's a massive red flag to take your business elsewhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think brides are intimidated as well I would be a bit intimidated to go to a, hey lovely, you okay? I would be a bit intimidated to go directly to a designer because you automatically think that they're going to be more expensive than shops, but are you saying that that's not the case?
Not always, no, because if you think about it, if you go to a smaller designer,
Mm.
um, they are more likely to, I guess, work within your budget and be more realistic about it. Do you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
if they're a bigger, larger shop or something like that, they're all about the margin and everything. But if you go to someone smaller, they can give you that one-to-one service, and they can also, I guess, work within your budget, like I was saying. So it's not necessarily that designers would be more expensive.
Yeah,
Also, they would want to build up their portfolio and work for you, and you know, create something really nice for you, because it's not just about you buying a service from them, it's about them creating something that they love to create.
yeah,
So I
absolutely.
would say don't discount it. I think it's a really good idea to go for like personal designers for sure.
Okay. Hi, lovely. Yeah, that's a good point. So, do you recommend like Instagram as a good place to kind of look for? Because I think that's where it's all happening now, isn't it?
It is,
That's
isn't
where we
it?
hear.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Like everything's on Instagram, like for
Because it's
you as
hard. Like,
well.
where would you find? Obviously, so for example, somebody like yourself, where would you kind of find those kind of designers? Because everybody kind of goes with the names that they know. How do you find these undiscovered gems?
I guess there are accounts that you can go onto on Instagram that compile other people's designs.
Okay, yeah.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of the names, but there are things like Desi Brides and stuff like that, and they'll find pictures from Instagram of other designers, and then they will just post them up, so you can have a look through, or even use hashtags like Asian bridal and stuff like that, and you can have a look through, and then if you see something you really like, obviously you can look at the designer's page and see if you like it. But yeah, everything's on Instagram. I wouldn't, you can go to bridal shows, but at the moment obviously no one's going.
No, exactly. Definitely. I think you're right as well. Yeah, hashtags is a good one. So maybe keep an eye out for those designers as well. And obviously Trish is available, so you can call Trish. What is your next tip, Trish?
So my next tip would be fittings. So fittings are so super important. So it links in with my point before about the dieting and stuff like that. But when you work with a designer, you need to find out at the beginning how many fittings they're going to include in that, because some of them only have one and that's it. So you have a fitting adjustment and then you're done. And then you're left on your own. You have to sort it out yourself. So find out, they might accommodate a couple more. They might accommodate something closer to the time. So that's really, really important. And then
you do need to know when exactly that's going to be, don't you? Because even with when you get your hair and makeup done, it all kind of ties in, because if there's like an issue with your outfit and you've left it too late, then now you're having to scramble for another outfit, or you thought you were going to be slimmer than you actually are. There's so many things that can go on to the horror stories that we hear about outfits, how they didn't turn up, how they came and they were all wrong, especially with ones that are getting, I don't want to be, obviously it's not the general case. I'm sure most people's it's fine, but you do get some really terrible horror stories, like the outfit just doesn't arrive. That happened to somebody very close to me, and we just kept getting told that the outfit was at Heathrow, it's just getting through customs. I'm like, the wedding is next weekend, and they just don't. Some people just don't have any morals as well. They don't. You just keep leading that person on. So that's another point actually, guys. Make sure that you check out the reviews, because actually this particular designer, when we looked it up, when I looked them up on Google and stuff, there was all these terrible reviews. There was just so many, and I thought, you just don't think, because when you go to a popular street, I won't name the street, but when you go to a popular street, Tina said, absolutely, if your outfit changes, so does your makeup, jewelry, shoes, everything. Absolutely, it's so true.
Everything changes.
It's such a key part. So that's it. If you go to a popular street and you think it's a popular, just don't take anything for granted. Even if they've been there for 25 years, you can't take it for granted. Check the reviews out. Sorry, that's my top tip.
Yes, for sure. I know a lot of shops who have been there for many years, and they have the most atrocious reviews. But if you were to walk into the shop, you would think, oh, it might be okay with the type of stuff they have. But you just have to.
It just looks so beautiful and shiny, and some of the staff can sometimes be really attentive to make the sale. So why would you think any different? And if you're not a part of this world, and it's the first, especially I keep saying, if it's the first wedding you're organising, so if in the family you're the first sister, or it's the first son or the first daughter, to get married, it's a big part, isn't it?
You wouldn't know. You just go by the look of the shop, and maybe word of mouth reputation, but sometimes you won't know until it comes to the end stages that they've actually messed you around. And that's one thing that was one of my other points actually as well, was realistic timelines. So if they say something that sounds too good to be true, like, oh yeah, we can get your whole outfit for you in 3 weeks, no problem, with all your customizations and stuff. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. This is the reason why.
6 weeks realistic.
That's more realistic, is 6 weeks. I mean, this is the reason why brides, Asian brides especially, tend to give at least a month or 2 months before their wedding date as their wedding date to the designer, because
I think designers have cottoned on to that as well a little bit.
yeah.
Actually, that particular design that I was telling you about, they contacted us after and was like, oh, the outfits arrived. It was like ages after, and I'm like, the wedding's gone. Like, I told you this was the day. So he was still, I thought, how can you not tell how cross I was with you?
Yeah, it happens. It really does. But yeah.
Simi says, great point. This happened to a family member of mine. It's so common to me. It's so stressful to be given unrealistic timelines. It is. It's really heartbreaking when you can't stick to them, and you've got whole families, like 15 bridesmaids or 12 bridesmaids, or all the who haven't got any outfits. Shocking, but this is what we're here to avoid. So you're saying 6 weeks is a good timeline to have or expect?
I would say so, but then I would also say start your shopping as early as possible. Like, if you can do it 6 months, a year in advance, do it. And shopping isn't just like going to order your outfit. Shopping involves the mood boards, finding out the prices, going to all the shops and stuff. And you need to look in loads of different places. So I know a lot of people will stay within the same area if that's where they live. So say, for example, if you live near Green Street, you're going to go there, South, or you're going to go there. But explore. So like, when I was getting married, I went to Green Street, I went South, or Birmingham, Leicester, to look for outfits.
Absolutely, you have to.
Yeah.
And also it's part of the fun as well, a little bit, isn't it? Oh, let's go here, let's do this.
Yeah, you just go and have a look, see what's about, see what's there. And also they're so different as well. Like the styles in these different cities are very different. Leicester was so different to Birmingham. Green Street was like completely different to Southall. So you get all these different styles and ideas.
How different?
Yeah, it is surprising. I think
expect the wholesalers to these places to be similar and the same, and obviously fashion to be similar and the same. But yeah, you can't find sometimes Green Street is actually quite a good place to go. I find it's really different compared to the other places.
Green Street is very different compared to the other three main places. Green Street is like its own completely different place, but it's so nice to get like ideas and see different ways of styling things that you wouldn't normally see. Because sometimes if you go to the same place, like if you go to Southall, for example, down that road, one street, you're going to have so many repeats of types of outfits and styles, and it's the same thing. Similar kind of thing in Birmingham as well. Like you have the same kind of outfits. So that's why online is really useful, because a lot of these designers don't have shops. They have very small boutiques that are outside, away from the main roads that you would normally go to. So if you explore online, then you'll find these random boutiques.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this is another reason why it's good to go to a designer, isn't it? A smaller designer, maybe, if you can't afford to go to like a big designer. But again, like you said, it's worth always asking, because we shouldn't just assume that it's going to be out of your price range.
Don't assume that.
Everybody.
Exactly. Don't assume that the shop is the only place you can go to for a bargain, because a lot of the times, I know it sounds really bad and it sounds like I'm just bad mouthing them, but a lot of these shops, they're very nice after you pay, and then they don't really look after you.
I do hear that a lot. I have to say, at the end of the day, this is what the show is about. It's about facts. And a lot of places have amazing, impeccable customer services, but a lot of places, once that deal's sort of done, it's like, that's it, on to the next one. And it's really sad.
Yeah, and that was actually going to be one of my tips as well, was trust your gut feeling. Is a designer working with you? Are they right for you? Because it's not just, like I was saying before, it's not just you buying something from them. You're both interacting with each other. Are they giving you that time and attention that you need? Because a lot of them will like the shops and stuff, will pressure sell to you. So, just buy it. It's fine. You're going to get it in 4 weeks. We can do anything, any color, any style, like anything you want, we've got it. And then when it comes to it, you're going to have problems, because you're not a one-to-one customer, you're not, you know, taken care of, I guess. And I think that's a really big problem in like the Asian wedding industry in general. I think a lot of people are just treated as, oh, you're just another number kind of thing. But
I think as well, when it's from a supplier point of view, when it's wedding season particularly, you are so run off your feet. Like even me, sometimes I can't get back to customers on the same day. Like I'm quite well known for having really fast turnarounds. If you contact me, I kind of get back to you very quickly. But if you're doing, you know, a bridal that day, but 2 bridal bookings, or you've got like back-to-back bookings, and then you're getting up again at the following day at 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning, you know, your response time can be delayed, but that shouldn't affect the way people speak to you. So if you're, like I said before, if you're finding that they're being short with you, they're avoiding you, you know, they're not giving you a straight answer, you know, you need to go down there, really. I would go down to the store. And that's another thing as well, like don't buy your outfits like so far away from you as well, unless you really, really trust them. Because there's nothing worse than being in London and your outfits being made like your, you know, the boutique you've gone to is in Manchester, and then there's a problem. Like, how are you going to go?
Yeah, I know that's happened to so many people that I know, where they've had to travel for like 5 hours just to sort something out because the outfit's not done, you know, and it takes up so much time because you've got so many other things to be doing with your wedding. Like you can't be traveling across the country all the time just to sort this person out.
Exactly.
So yeah, you have to
think if they go up north, it can be cheaper as well. Some of the outfits can be cheaper, but then if you're going from here up there and back and forth, suddenly it's not so.
It's a false economy. It's a false economy. Like you're not getting that price back. You're literally spending the same amount that you would save by just traveling.
So these are all the things that you guys need to think about as well. And also, you know, go shop around, have a good time, but maybe you know, see the design that you like, kind of see if you can get something similar closer to you. Not to say that you shouldn't shop, it just depends, isn't it, on the store. If you've been to the store before, you've got a really good feeling, they've blown you away, their customer service is exceptional, their reviews are exceptional, you know, there's loads of happy brides, then, you know, by all means go for it. But I just hear so many horror stories, like I said. That's just the worst thing, isn't it? And then you feel so bad. You're like, oh God, you know, why has this happened to you? You're such a nice person.
I know. You just got to take all the precautions, I guess. And then that's where you get like a bit of a mistrust between some of the bigger shops and designers and the customers, because they've heard the horror stories, but they like the outfits. So then it's just a constant like battle, I guess, between the two. You just have to find what's the right fit for you, because a shop that's right for one person might not be okay for someone else, you know. It might be
that's it as well. That's true. Sometimes it is just a one-off. Sometimes things can happen, and when you're, you know, making orders in such high volume, of course errors can occur, but then it's not about those errors occurring, it's about how they're dealt with. You know, exactly. Can happen by anybody. It's then how is that supplier dealing with that issue? Are they giving you due diligence, or are they trying to brush it under the carpet and, you know, just
exactly. Like I've had issues. I would admit, you know, sometimes with a supplier, I couldn't get an outfit to someone in time for the time that they wanted. But the main thing is you keep them.
Traveling with B says, I wish I knew all this when I was getting married. It's so true.
Yeah,
it's so true.
I know. But I mean, like, yeah. So with the outfits, like if you are, you know, running late, running behind schedule, or there's an issue, keep your customer updated all the time. You know, keep them in the loop on what's going on. So that whole situation that happened with me was resolved perfectly fine, and she was happy because I kept her updated, and she wasn't having to chase me to figure out like, where's my outfit, what's going on, what's happening. So, you know, it's that element of customer service.
Communication is just yeah, you can't there's no words for it, you know. That's so important, it's paramount. Otherwise people are just so anxious anyway, and at the moment with all the COVID-19 stuff, it's
Yeah.
even worse. Like everything just seems, honestly, I feel so bad for the 2021 brides and 2020 brides. Well, 2021 should be okay, but again, there's lots of uncertainty. Like we don't know how long this is going to go on for. How long are we
Yeah.
going to have like these 30 people weddings? So we're going to talk about that as well. Small weddings and outfits.
Yeah.
You know, what
Yeah.
outfits do you kind of recommend?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't mean just because you're having a small wedding that you should sacrifice on your perfect day dream.
Exactly. Yeah, I just go for what you want. And like that's the other one of the other tips that I've got. You're so good. You're like leading me to all my tips.
I am just psychic.
It's like you know.
Call me Mystic Meg.
So yeah, so the other tip was be yourself. So there is not, you know, you don't have to just go with red, pink, or gold for your wedding outfit. The colors, you can just do whatever you want, you know. There's no rules. Be yourself, be comfortable in what you're wearing. That's so, so, so important, because I've seen so many brides that, you know, they want the really, really heavy outfits, and it looks amazing, it looks stunning, but they can't move in it because it's like 20 kilos, and they, you know, they're literally carrying around.
I remember I had one bride and her outfit was gifted to her by her in-laws, and it was so heavy, Trish. It was so heavy, and then on top of that she had her dupatta, which was so heavy, and then the jewelry was so heavy. Like, I can't tell you, this poor girl, honestly. None of my other brides have been like it, but this particular bride, it was quite a few years ago, but she could hardly get up. She was so weighted down, and then they'd given her an extra dupatta to put on as well, and I was just like, I said, are they going to be offended if you don't wear it? Because obviously I've got, you know, I do the dressing, so I'm like, I could just see she could hardly move. Like everything was so heavy. Like she had this gold set, but it was coming, you can't see, all the way down to her belly, and it was like really heavy. The earrings were like this, really heavy, like proper heavy gold. It was, yeah.
That just sounds painful. That sounds like bruises on your shoulders and your hips at the end of the night. That just sounds, it sounds really painful.
Hi,
Hi.
Definitely.
Yeah, so comfort is key. Like, you don't have to sacrifice a heavy look for, you know, comfort. You can get something that is lightweight, that has the full embroidery, but it still gives you that wow effect, like that impact. And also,
it doesn't
like,
mean that that's cheap though, does it? 'Cause sometimes people think, oh, it's not heavy, it's not expensive, or it's not good quality, but it's not like that anymore, is it?
No,
like the heaviness
no.
of an outfit doesn't impact on the cost of it, for example.
Not necessarily, no. I mean, like, you can get pre-embroidered fabric that's got, like, you know, thread work on it, and adding to that thread work gives you such a good, like, three-dimensional textured effect, but it still allows you to move because it's not a thick, heavy net. It's an embroidered fabric, so it's really, really lightweight. So there are loads of different options that you can choose. And also, like we were saying before, weddings are getting smaller at the moment. They're really intimate, so I mean, a lot of brides are opting for something that's not as, you know, heavy.
Yeah, because when you're walking into a massive hall and you've got like 1,000 guests, you know, it's very different, the impact that your dress is going to make. But when there's like 30 people there and it's a garden party and you arrive like a Christmas tree, you know, it depends. If you want to be a Christmas tree, then, you know, go for it. Not a Christmas tree, I don't mean to be, you know, derogatory, but
blinged up, blingy.
You know, I mean, all blinged up to the max. It all depends on what you want, doesn't it? And are you going to be comfortable? You do need to think about the surroundings that you're going to be in. So I don't know. Are people going to be doing it in like banqueting halls? Are they open now? Do you know?
I
or is
don't.
It going to be more like garden parties for now.
Yeah, I don't think that banqueting halls are open. Because I think you're not allowed to serve food or have music at the moment. That's what I've heard. That's the latest that I know. So I think it's still 30 people, no food, no music. So you can have, I guess, small religious ceremonies and civil. and then I think like that's it. So for the time being, I think it's quite low key, which is really nice because I know so many brides have been like dying to have a small wedding, but they couldn't
Me
because
too as well.
everyone
It's
wants
so
a
like
wedding.
low key. Um, so I think it's more often than not. I don't think actually that many people. Because imagine if you've got 30 people there, those 30 are going to be so important to you.
Yeah,
But being Asian, 30 really isn't a lot. Like I know even with my own family, I don't know if out of
look,
my direct like family is like just under 30 probably. I don't know. Like I haven't asked them. But you don't want to leave out anybody either. So it is really hard decisions for people. But equally, like I said, for some people, when your budget is an issue and you really want to get married, but you want to have, this wedding to serve other people and impress other people and wow other people, and the amount of people that get into so much debt over it, the amount of people that the amount of parents mortgage their homes to provide this
yeah,
lavish wedding for one day. Now they've kind of got the escape route because they're actually like, they can't offend anybody for not inviting them. I'm really
exactly.
sorry, 30 people only.
Exactly. And then now,
Great
now they can
opportunity for
just,
a lot of people. They're really welcoming.
yeah, and
People
now they
will
can
leave.
just put that money into a mortgage or something.
Or yeah, or a holiday. Well, not now, but if they wanted to later on, they could. I think lots of people do destination weddings now because they'd rather just escape and spend that money abroad with
Exactly.
people they really love than
Yeah,
1,000 people or 400, 500 people who they have to invite out of keeping sort of saving face.
yeah,
But anyway, those are the politics of
exactly.
it all.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, like I think now I'm hoping it kind of goes towards that trend. I think people are now seeing the benefit of having smaller weddings like people used to, decades ago
Yeah.
when, Asian people first came to this country. It was all like really small, intimate weddings because there wasn't that many of us
Yeah,
there. Like, so I
definitely
think
didn't
it's
have a
like,
choice.
yeah, so I think that now it's nice that people are seeing that, and I think it has an impact in what people are wearing as well. It really does. That's from guests to brides, everyone. Everyone wants something that's a bit more pared down, a bit more simple. And even if you see like some of the bigger designers, like Sabyasachi, for
Yeah,
example, he's putting out images of his models in very simple outfits, and he
I
is
love his
talking
style.
at weddings.
Mm.
So that's what he's talking about with those simple outfits. So you kind of know everything's going towards that direction of simplicity, which is
Mm.
so nice. For a lot of brides, it is really, really nice.
And I often get brides like, oh, do I have to wear this? Or Sophia, can I get away with not wearing this? Can I get away with not wearing this headpiece? Or what do you think? Should I go for a smaller piece? Do you think it'd be okay? And I'm like, it's really up to you. But I
Yeah,
do get it a lot. Like a lot of brides, they do want to go for the less is more. But then they're worried because sometimes some of the guests are so dolled up. But I think when you're the bride, nobody can kind of take that shine away from you. I don't believe that
yeah,
people can outdo the bride.
because you're going to be center of attention anyway. The pictures are all going to be of you. No one's going to get confused, like, oh, is she the bride? Like, no, it's obviously
Yeah,
you.
a red dress does help though. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think personally, like, although mine was sort of red cream, and a tiny bit of green was going through. So I did have a little bit of a mix, but I do think that red is really nice to have.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
so.
think it's nice to have that traditional element. But I think that's really nice with our generally with Asian weddings. You have more days. You can kind of like have as many dresses as you like, and then the colours that you can't get in on those 3 days, get them in on the talkies and the pre-wedding
Exactly,
events. Get
exactly.
every colour you
And
want.
that's the thing, you can use like the other days as a chance to show different styles as well. So if you're not wearing a lehenga on your wedding day, you can wear it on another day. Or if you want to wear a Punjabi suit, or if you want to wear a sari or something, like you can do that on all those different days and show off like a full range of what looks good on you. So yeah, it is really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. A very close friend of mine wanted to wear a sari, and I was like, no, you mustn't. You have to wear it. I'm like, you always wear a sari to everyone's wedding. You wear a sari, and she was like, I want to wear a sari, and I'm like, but it's your wedding day, wear a lehenga. But at the end of the day, I shouldn't pressure her. She did in the end. She wore a sari. She did go for what she wanted.
That's probably what she's comfortable in, I guess.
Exactly, and that's the point, that there are no rules. So, you know, don't feel forced. And like you said, she looked so much happier because we went together to do her shopping, her wedding shopping. And I said, no, you have to wear a dress. And in the end, her outfit actually got messed around. So it was only by chance that she went then and got a sari to wear on the day, because the outfit that we had ordered together,
Like it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. I mean, the things that she goes, I mean, I don't know. Maybe she even told them to tell me that these things are happening.
Yeah, secretly she's like,
just so she could get her. Yeah. I was getting so stressed out. Okay, what's your next tip, Trish? Where are we at?
So my next tip would be, I guess, once you have the outfit, there are a couple of things that you 100% need to do before your wedding day when you've got this outfit. So when you get your outfit, the first thing you're going to want to do is obviously try it on and see if it looks good. But if you feel a bit disheartened because you think it looks a bit like it's not great, try it on with a full face of makeup and jewelry, and it will look completely different. That's what you need to do, because it's going to look too plain otherwise, and it's not going to look right. The jewelry and the makeup are the things that elevate the whole outfit. And if you're getting a trial, like so some brides will get, I don't know if you must do this, like a second trial before the wedding, like a hair trial, or like a second makeup trial maybe if they want to. If you're doing that, or if you have your outfit before even your first trial, take it with you, and just, even if you can drape it on yourself, like the dupatta, or
I always recommend for your hair and makeup. Generally, I would say that book your trial once you have your outfit and know what you're wearing, because there's so many variables. You know, sometimes you get brides, oh no, I'm gonna wear white, and then they come with like a totally different color. So like for me, we eliminate that from the get-go. So once you've got your outfit and your jewelry, we can decide and plan a look, because your jewelry as well, it makes a big difference.
Huge.
What jewelry you have, even headpiece especially, to what hair look you can go for. Because if you've got a matapati, it then, you know, makes a big difference on what kind of hairstyles you've got, because you've got to then show off that whole piece going across your forehead. It's not the same as having a tikka. So there's so many different things to consider.
Yeah,
so
and it makes.
I always say get your jewelry and outfit first. And the other thing I was going to say was, you're so right about the everything playing its own part, because sometimes if they don't have their jewelry and outfit and they come to the trial, which does happen because it's been ordered but it's not here yet, so I've seen the photos and everything, so we can still go ahead with the trial. It feels really heavy, and the amount of times I have to reassure the client, I'm like, look, once you put your earrings on and your necklace and your outfit, each thing that you put on drowns the makeup out, and then everything kind of starts to settle and you become a bride. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, but sometimes it can be like, oh, it feels too much. It feels too much, especially a red lip can be quite. And not many people wear a red lip regularly. So it can be scary just even putting a red lip on.
I had one for my wedding day, and my makeup artist was like, you need to smile, because when you have a red lip on, you look really bitchy. I was like, oh. So she was like, make sure you smile all the time, otherwise it's not going to work.
So she's honest. Good advice.
Yeah, very honest, like too honest. But yeah, with the outfits, like, even if you haven't got your outfit yet, if you know the color and it's coming, if you have something in a similar color that you can take with you, you can just hold against yourself so you can see what goes. The lipstick is so important, right? It must be like to match with the outfit or to contrast in the right way. So if you have something that's of similar shade, then that's also a really good idea. And the other thing that you need to do when you get your outfit is practice. Practice walking, practice sitting down, practice if you're having a Sikh ceremony, practice sitting down on the floor. Like, you have to, because it will help you feel confident and comfortable on your actual day.
That's so true. Even a lot of my brides are like really stressing about, especially like Sikh brides with the matatik and stuff like that. And especially if they're not actually Sikh, and then they're having like they're marrying a Sikh person,
if they're not used to it, yeah,
and they've not
yeah,
done it before, or they're not religious. It can be a major fear, can't it, to
yeah,
go wrong, for your dupatta to get caught, or you know, you did need to go somewhere, you know. So it's yeah,
yeah.
practicing is a really good idea.
Definitely practice. And also, I know like it sounds a bit odd, but if you are having a Sikh ceremony, you can always go to the Gurdwara on a Sunday and have a look at someone else's. Like, obviously, don't gate crash the whole thing.
Kids,
It's
what do you think
open,
actually
right?
we're going to
So
make the food?
yeah,
Food
it's
is so good.
open, so you can go and see. Like, you can go and have a look because anyone can actually join and sit down at the back. Like, don't get involved in anything. Like, don't cause any problems. But like, have a look. And if you're not used to Sikh ceremonies, if you're like you were saying, if they're
Yeah,
not Sikh, or if they are marrying someone who is, or if they haven't
they're
been
not
for a
religious.
while, have a look and see the routine, what you have to do, what steps you have to take, and how the bride is handling it. How is she getting up and how is she sitting down, you know?
Just who's
So
laughing.
that's always a good
They're
idea. And
laughing from experience. They've seen some bad things happen. Tell us your stories. um, yeah, it's true. It's so true. And also you can Google it, not Google it, YouTube it. You know, I'm sure there's gonna be lots of things. Then you know, recreate that at home if you don't feel
yeah,
comfortable or confident enough
exactly.
to go.
Just
Um,
practice, just
and
practice.
even
Walk
if you're not, you know, even if you're not Sikh, you know, practice walking around in your dress, isn't it?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
even I was quite. It's because it's like, so you don't actually anticipate how heavy it's going to be once it's all
yeah,
actually pinned. Because even when you try it on, you don't ever get it properly pinned until the
yeah,
day. And when it's pinned, you need to make sure, like I always get my brides, okay, right, walk for me, turn your head left to right. I want to be able to see while I'm here that you're not restricted. The amount of times I've been to weddings and the poor bride is like this, and can't
yeah.
move, and you know, and I
You
just
have
want to
to
run and help her,
move.
yeah. So I make sure with my brides that they're fully mobile,
Yeah, you
and they've
have
had
to
their
have that
test run.
full movement because if it's pinned too tight, you just like you literally can't
Exactly.
do anything. And also a good thing to do is to get it your dupatta pinned at the back, somewhere on your back, so it doesn't weigh you down. And that's where it also comes in the having something light as a border, because a lot of people they go for the very heavy, very thick, like 3-4 inch borders.
Mm.
Um, and you don't realize until you have it on how heavy it is on your head. Oh my
And
God.
also
Like,
when it's sort of sitting on this part of your head, if it's really thick, you've got to remember that is going to go that far back sitting on your
yeah,
head. So you need to be able to sort of envisage every tiny thing. It's
yeah.
quite a lot to take in.
So
But these are all the things. And you know, the right designer like you will be able to tell and advise the clients. But often, sometimes I think you get so busy that people just don't.
yeah, you don't think about it because the thing is like the outfits look attractive and you're like, wow, like I love it. It looks so great. And they do, they look fantastic. They look amazing. But you just have to remember how long you're keeping this on for in a day. Are you doing an outfit change or is this your outfit for the whole day? And if it's for the whole day, can you realistically keep this on your head? Because don't forget, you're going to have most times an updo or something like
Yeah.
a bun, and that is adding weight to your hair because you've got a what do you
Yeah, you've
call
got
them, donuts
all
and
the
all
pins,
that. Yeah, all the
100 pins
pins.
in there, which are quite heavy. And also you've got to remember, when I had one of my clients, I didn't do her bridal, but when I went to, she had a makeup done for something else. Anyway, it was party booking. I went to see her and we're doing her hair, and she was telling me about her wedding day, and she said that her scalp actually bled, and she had like scabs all over her scalp from where the pins
So
were digging
sad.
into her head. And she said that she had the worst headache all day. Ladies, these are all the things you need to think about in
Yeah,
advance, because that's the whole point of the series, to avoid all kind of issues, as many things as we can avoid. Hey Nita,
yeah.
and once we've done that, yeah, hair pieces and extension all add weight. She's talking from experience. That's one of my brides right there. Yeah, so it all adds a lot of weight. And then on top of that, if you're
Yeah,
getting a heavy border, not to say don't have a heavy border, but like
yeah,
you were saying, Trish, you can still get the border, but have it
It
sort
can
of low
still
to
look
weight.
heavy. Yeah, like it can still look heavy, but it's very light embroidery, if that makes sense. Because a lot of designers and shops, what they'll do is they'll put a band and then they'll put the embroidery on that band. And the type of embroidery they use is very heavy. So it'll be like stones, really heavy work, which weighs it down. So you have
It
to
looks stunning.
yeah, it looks amazing. And also it's if that's what you want, then obviously go for it. Like no one's ever gonna say like, oh no, this is the wrong thing to do. It looks amazing, it looks fantastic. But if you can handle it, then that's fine. Like
Exactly.
obviously.
And the thing is, you know, the right hair and makeup artist should be able to make sure that you're secure, that, you know, that shouldn't happen. You shouldn't have a bleeding scalp and stuff like that. You know, if those pins are in properly and you've got somebody experienced who's doing a good job, that shouldn't happen. Because we are, you know, this is what we do day in, day out. We get brides ready. Another thing is, you know, you can have it where it's thicker and it's heavier around this area. So your actual embroidery is more kind of like this area, and then it goes thinner. So if you wanted it to be like 4, 5, 6 inches deep, the embroidery, so it covers the head part, and you can just have it coming sort of going thinner as well. So that's another option, and some of my brides have done that. So you've still got the jewels and stuff, and then it just kind of like goes into, and net is a really good option. It's net.
Oh yeah, for sure. Net is really good. And also with net, you can see through to like the jewelry. If you have something on your hair, some hair jewels or something, then you can see all that. Like in the border won't cover it. So the net will it's quite lightweight, so that's quite good. And also think about the length of it as well. Is it going to be like trailing on the floor? Because that will add on the weight that's dragging on the back of your head as well. So there's just things to think about, and things to think about when you're trying the outfits on. You know, when you go into shops and you just see what they're like, these are the things that you need to think.
And there are things that you can do to avoid it. So like if you have got a really particularly heavy outfit and you do want to wear it, and that is the look you want to go for, you know, the things we do for fashion, my God, you know, we squeeze our feet into these teeny tiny shapes, you know, and we do it. So, you know, there's options. You can take a couple of Nurofen before, you know, lots of tips and tricks that we can do that will help you with that on the day. Also, a lot of people I've noticed, Trish, now are having veils. So they're keeping the chimney actually across the body and having veils now. Not on over the face, but just having like a veil that to go at the back. So the dupatta still looks like it's coming, but it's 2 pieces, and you've still got the embroidery, but not so heavy on that part. So your head is still covered. Because I think for a lot of people, it's about having the head covered as well. To have a religious ceremony, for example.
Yeah, you would need to have your head covered. And the thing is also, like, with your outfit on your day, you need to make sure that you've got someone with you that is going to be checking to make sure you look okay at all moments of the day. Like, is your necklace fitted? Is your dupatta set properly? You know, has something shifted out of place? Are you going to look silly in the photos? Like, you need that person that's going to be literally next to you, like dabbing your forehead for sweat. Like,
I usually, if somebody is not assigned, I usually assign someone. One of the whoever basically spends most time in the room with the bride. I'm like, okay, right, this is it. Here's the pins, here's this, here's that. You know, if this happens, this is what you need to do. And I always say, look, here's my number. Any problems, anything, call me. Because that's like the worst thing, like in my mind, I can kind of think of, that if something was to happen once I've left. Like, I'm quite protective of my brides. We've got 5 minutes left, Trish.
Oh my God. Okay.
Tell me the ones that are really, really important that you think that we should really, really know, if there's any. I'm going to shush now.
Sorry. So the one really, really important thing I want to say is with high street shops. So I find that a lot of shops, in my experiences of people that I know, they don't cater for sizes that are at least 14 plus. They won't for the sample sizes. So if you're a bride and you're looking for an outfit, it's going to be very hard to try something on when you've got no sample sizes that fit you. So in my experience, I went to one very big high street shop, and I asked them if I could try on some of these outfits, and they said no. The smallest size the biggest size we do is a 12. I'm not a 12. So I said,
that happened to us as well.
Yeah, and I was like, oh,
The girl
I
who was
can't try
getting
it.
married, she got quite upset because there's nothing worse than
It's
not being
really
able to.
upsetting. It's so disheartening, and it's like, and they
It's
even said
supposed
to
to be
me,
one of your like main things as well to do. Go and get your dress, and you know, you go out with your girlfriends, you make, you know, take your mom, your
yeah,
sisters, and then you can't fit into anything. Gosh.
yeah, it's really disheartening. And then that's where the whole crash diet thing comes from, because you're made to feel so insecure that you don't fit into sample sizes. And then they tell you stuff like how they told me, oh, we've got a girl who works in a shop here who can try it on for you. So I was just saying, well, okay, is she going to get married for me as well? Like, if she wants to my husband, like, I need to wear this, not her. So you have to make sure that the places you're going to, you know, like, if this is something that you might be sensitive about, or that you might, you know, it
Come on,
might
even 16 is not big. Do you know what I
not
mean?
be,
Even 18 is not big. I think 16 is like the average size in the UK. It's quite disgusting, I think, that they
yeah, they
don't
need to
have.
have sample
And then if you're a
sizes.
12, it's like you're a big fatty fat, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And that's our culture, is like, oh, you know, it's too big and that's it. There's nothing we're going to do for you. So the best thing
It's
to
the
do,
custom made because you're such a heifer. Do you know what
yeah,
I mean? It makes me
yeah.
feel so bad. Um,
But yeah, like you just need to check before you go, or get someone to check for you, or have a look online, read reviews and stuff, and make sure what are their size ranges. You know, call them up before you go if you have to,
definitely, I agree.
or
Yeah.
designers, ask the designers like, what sample sizes do you have, and what can you do for
It
me? Because
saves you the
sometimes,
trip as well. Like you just don't want to waste the time.
yeah, exactly.
Because
It's
we
such a
went
waste
to
of trip.
so many before we found somewhere that actually had an outfit for her to try, and then it was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, try this size," but it's not. That's not the outfit. You're not going to know how it looks against
no,
your coloring, against your face, against your body, how it hangs, without
exactly.
yeah, without trying it on.
Oh
Okay,
my God.
she goes. I found my dress shows on
On
American
American
TV. They
TV.
have the backs all open, the sample dresses. That's good. I like that.
Oh,
That's
that's good.
amazing.
Yeah. So you
That
can
is
like,
really good.
because yeah, you can, I guess, see how it all looks like, just not going zipping up the back. I guess that's good. I wish I had that when I was getting married, because when I went, I just had scratches all up my arms from trying on size 10 and 12 when I
Yeah.
wasn't a size 10 and 12.
At least you try to get into them. My poor friend, one time they gave her this outfit which was just loose fabric, and they were like, oh my god, they gave us some pins. They didn't even have a dedicated assistant. They were like, here's the pins,
Oh
and just
no.
basically pin it. And I'm like trying to pin her up, and like to be honest, I've got a lot of experience in like pinning up stuff and making things work. And even I was like, and she's like, Sophia, I just can't imagine what I'm going to look like on the
You
day.
can't. You can't see
It
it.
was actually
No.
quite comical, like from, but you know, I really felt for her, but she did look
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous. And you're putting people through that. It's really disgusting.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely call up first. Save yourself the time and the
Yeah.
stress.
Yeah, find a boutique or somewhere that caters for these sizes, and that will give you that like non-judgmental like space to discuss things. And also, if you're really set on a particular type of a style, like peplum or a lehenga with a train or something, sometimes you can be a bit cheeky and you can find another shop that
Oh,
does do
1 minute
your
remaining.
sample sizes, that does do your sizes, and then just try it on there, and then you can get an idea of what it looks like if you're set on that particular thing. But I think just find the right place for you. I think that's the main thing of this whole call, is like, you have to work with your designer and just shop around, find someone that you will really connect with, and you have that one-to-one rapport, and they can give you that time and attention. That's the number one thing.
Guys, Trish is so amazing, and she is an undiscovered gem. You have got to
Thank
reach out to
you.
her. She's going to give you all the things. You can see how much she cares. She's going to give you everything you need to know. And even if it's just
Thank
for a chat and you
you.
just need to get your bearings and you just need that safe space to go and speak to a designer, you know, she's not going to judge you. She's going to help. Okay, guys, we have got literally seconds left. It's going to get cut off. I've had such a lovely time with you, Trish.
You too. Thank you
Right,
so
this
much
went
for
so
having me
quickly.
on. I'm so honored to be on your show.
Oh my gosh. Do you know what? This is one of the last ones. There's only a couple left. So,
It's
yeah. So,
exciting.
guys, 5 seconds remaining. I love you.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. Bye.